What's going on, everybody? Welcome into Around the Felt Mock Draft 6.0. All you Felters
Yeah.
have been digging the draft content. So the boys came back a week later after Mock 5.0 has been cooking. The best video in Around the Felt sports history. We appreciate all of you that checked that one out. Now we got a new one for you today with more trades involved. And boy, am I
Yeah.
excited. Reagan, how you feeling tonight, sir? You ready to rock with another mock?
I mean, listen, dude. Last mock got about 4,000 listens at this point. I'm hoping this one shatters that. I mean, we're throwing some nice little twists in tonight. I'm super excited. And listen, I mean, my Jets have 2 picks, so how could I not be excited? I mean, this is our Super Bowl. Come on now. Come on now. But yeah. I mean, hey,
Hell yeah.
this is the
Let's
best part of
go.
the offseason.
It is, man. As you're watching this video, if you like what we're putting out, make sure you're subscribed to the channel. Make sure you're liking the video. Use those hype points. I believe you get 3 hypes per week on a video. We appreciate you for doing so. And if you haven't done so yet, check out Mock 5.0. A lot of banter in the comments. We always appreciate that. And man, it was the best video in Around the Felt sports history until tonight. We're going to top it tonight
Till
with
tonight.
this mock. It's bigger, it's better, and more trades. We got 6
And
trades, I
bolder. A
believe,
lot
coming
bolder.
up. That's the target because the average is roughly 6 trades per first round. So that's our
Yeah.
goal, to hit 6 trades tonight in this mock draft and shake things up a bit, get spicy. And hey, for some of you that might be like, that trade doesn't make any sense, that's unrealistic. Who thought the Jaguars would move up from 5 to 2 and give a first round pick last year for Travis Hunter? That was a shock to me. You never know what's going to happen on draft night. Tonight, we give out a scenario that could, hey, replicate the first round a little bit with some big
Yeah,
trades.
listen, I mean, if you can't like stomach Frank's hot sauce, this is not the video for you. All right. This is not the video for you. All right.
Yeah, we're going to get spicy. We're going to get spicy with it. I'm going to start us off here with pick number 1, the Raiders. We're going to hold the spice. No spice yet. We're going to go Fernando Mendoza. I'm not going to beat a dead
Woo!
horse here.
Spicy.
This is clearly the pick at number 1, a one
Spicy.
quarterback draft. You know, I see a lot of people bashing Mendoza, and it's like, oh, is he some generational type of quarterback prospect? Maybe not, but he does a lot of things really well. He's got great maturity, great play strength. He's a leader, and the Raiders just need a quarterback in the baddest way. So let's give Fernando Mendoza to the Raiders. Tom Brady has his guy.
That is unbelievably spicy. I love it. Now, for number 2, my Jets. We're going to go with Arvel Reese. Get the future leader of the New York Jet defense. Listen, it was a bad defense last year, and understandably so when you trade away Sauce Gardner, Quinnen Williams midseason. Of course, you know, when you hire a defensive-minded coach, you would expect the defense to be good, but that was not the case with the New York Jets. And we saw major steps back from the linebacker core between Sherwood and Quincy Williams. So I think that'll fit a big need for this defense, who is in, dire need of some talent right out of the gates. And I think Reese can be the difference maker on this Jets defense right away. Arvel Reese, you are coming to the New York Jets, unfortunately.
Unfortunately, hey, maybe Reese is one of those guys that changes the tune for the New York Jets, a team that seems to get bashed more than any other in NFL circles. So that's a great
Yeah.
pick. He has such a high upside, playing on the edge, potential Micah Parsons type of transition. So that'd be a home run for the Jets.
Hopefully.
All right, number 3 here. The Arizona Cardinals, man, we're going to have our first trade of the night. The Cardinals are going to move back to number 10 overall with the Cincinnati Bengals, who are moving up to get an edge rusher. The Bengals will get pick 3. Let's send to Arizona pick 10, 41.
Oh, what is going on? Oh, there we go. We're good. Say it again. Sorry.
10, 41, and 188.
188. Yeah. So the Bengals are sending 10, 41, and 188 for 3.
Yes, sir. That's the deal. That's the
Wow.
deal. Propose, likely accept. For all of you guys who are going to bash the comments that the trade doesn't make sense, the mock sim thinks it makes sense. The trade has been accepted. We got the Bengals up at number 3. That defense needs a lot of help, and we're going to send David Bailey from Texas Tech to the Cincinnati Bengals. I am so high on David Bailey. The difference between him and Arvel Reese is you've seen David Bailey play off the edge with over 14 sacks last year at Texas Tech. He's got that speed rusher to him, where Arvel Reese is more of a projection, playing more off-ball linebacker at Ohio State. but he probably has higher upside along the edge. Look, I just think Cincinnati needs help in that defense so bad. Trey Hendrickson will be gone. You pair David Bailey with their first-round pick last year, Shamar Stewart, and hopefully those two building blocks can blossom on the edge together in Cincinnati.
Wow. Just wow. I am at a loss of words. No, I mean this is spicy. It's pretty clear Cincinnati is lacking a lot of talent on that defense. We don't know what Hendrickson's future is. We know Stewart did not pan out in year one. I'm not ready to give up on him,
He was
but I
a
don't
raw
think
prospect. Yeah.
Listen, yeah. I mean, so I understand that's like, I guess you could say, a spot they've invested more heavily in on that defense, but I'm not sold that Hendrickson will be there long term. They have a lot of money on the books between 4 players, so I think they're going to try to be getting out of him. And like I said, I mean, Stewart didn't look good in year one. Am I giving up? No, but it's definitely a big reason for them to give up some capital to address a massive premium position. So I'm cool with that. I love the spice.
Hell yeah, man. And I do think that one is very realistic, because you think of the top 3 edge rushers, Reese, Bailey, Ruben, Bane. I'd be surprised if any of those 3 lasted to number 10 for Cincinnati. So I think them moving up for an edge rusher is so in play here.
Yeah.
All right, at pick number 4 here for the Tennessee Titans, I'm jumping back in, Reagan. I hope you don't mind because I got another trade that I want to pull off in this pick.
Let's do it.
The Dallas Cowboys, Jerry Jones moving up to number 4 overall. So Dallas will get picks 4 and 35. Tennessee will get picks 12, 20, and Dallas's 2027 second round pick.
So 12, 20, and Dallas's second rounder.
And 27 for 4 and 35.
Okay, so Tennessee's sending 4 and 35. Dallas is getting 12, 20, they're sending 12, 20 in their second next year.
Yep, that's the trade.
This looks good. Okay.
Likely accept. Bang. Punch it. That's the deal. The Dallas Cowboys move up for Caleb Downs. For all those Giants fans that are clamoring to get Caleb Downs at pick number 5, that elite safety under Jim Harbaugh, me being one of them, Jerry Jones pulls a trick out of his sleeve and moves up to get the new face of the Dallas defense in Caleb Downs. How good of a fit would that be on the back end of that defense that really needs help? I know edge rusher is certainly in play too, and maybe Ruben Bane could have been the pick, but I just think having a leader of that defense in Caleb Downs, he just does everything so well. He can play in the box. He can play in the slot. He's insanely good in the run game. He's a leader. He can command the defense, right? Like, it just seems like such a slam dunk pick and a guy that is not going to miss and should be a Pro Bowl, if not all pro caliber player. He just seems to fit what Dallas wants. They like those star type of players coming out of college with the big names, and they usually pan out in Dallas. I hate to say it, but that just seems like a home run for Dallas Cowboys, and they jump a division rival and my New York Giants to get it done.
Listen, I am down with that. Now that's it's this is crazy in the sense where it's a lot of capital to give up for a non-premium position. But listen, if there's any team we've seen do it before and any owner we could see doing something like this, it's Jerry Jones. If he falls in love with Caleb Downs, this is just something that could happen and, be a big, 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 big splash for the Cowboys. I love it. I love it.
Yeah. All right, we're back at pick 5, and this is me again because I keep making all these trades, but I am the odds technically.
You don't want to let me have a chance, huh?
I am the odds technically, but you'll get me back later with some trades on the odds, I'm sure. For my New York Football Giants, if it pans out this way, they have their pick of the litter of the offensive linemen and the wide receivers. And given the rumors that I'm hearing around the Giants that they're going to be big players in the trenches in free agency, I don't think they'll come into the draft with a gaping hole at right tackle. So I will go Carnell Tate, the wide receiver from Ohio State, to pair with Malik Neighbors. And look, I keep going back to this for my Giants, man. As much as I love Caleb Downs, even Sonny Styles is getting consideration because John Harbaugh has always had a stud linebacker. And, they definitely need help at corner. There's not a corner worth taking here at 5, in my opinion. Like, it'd be nice to beef up that defense for sure. But I just keep going back to the philosophy of supporting the young quarterback. And we've seen so many teams add a high premium wide receiver in the draft to help a quarterback. We just saw Carolina do it with Tate McMillan last year. I know the Giants have Malik Neighbors, but he's coming back from not just an ACL, it looks like the LCL too, and perhaps the meniscus. So, it's tough to rely upon him. Wan'Dale Robinson is a free agent, right? So there are concerns at wide receiver right now. I'm seeing they might be involved in Mike Evans if they could pry him away from Tampa Bay. Maybe Alec Pierce if they can pry him away from Indianapolis. I just don't see those outcomes as likely. So I think adding another big-time wide receiver prospect to pair with Malik Neighbors, give Jackson Dart some weapons, is a really smart move. Carnell Tate stands 6'3", completely different type of player than Malik Neighbors, which is great. It almost reminds me of Jamar Chase T. Higgins. You could have that 2.0 all on rookie deals right now with Jackson Dart on his rookie deal and Scatabo. Wow, that would be a fun arsenal at Jackson Dart's disposal. I mean, Carnell Tate's just a stud. Can win in many different ways. He's a tank downfield, improved his route running this year significantly. He wins over 70% of the time in contested catch situations. That'd be great in the red zone for Jackson Dart. And I think Giants fans would be stoked with this pick.
Yeah, I mean, listen, this guy can become your number one, even if they do bring back Wan'Dale. Neighbors is coming off of a major injury. You don't know what he'll look like and what version you'll get. You'll assume he'll heal, but will he ever be, what he was before the injury? So I think this is a big factor for them. The fact that they have, Wan'Dale on I guess is a free agent and could get a contract that is out of their price range. And listen, if you do draft Tate, I don't think you need to bring back Robinson. I think you let him walk and address other needs. I don't think you pay him that heavy price tag that he'll get, where I think he'll get somewhere between 10 to 15 million a year. And I think you can, pick up Tate in the draft and get those 5 years versus worrying about bringing in Robinson. So I'm all for that pick. All right.
Hell yeah.
So let's move on to the Browns at number 6. And this is a player where he kind of fell into their lap at 6, but he fills a major need as the Browns have 4 of their 5 starting linemen from last year as unrestricted free agents and
actually,
another
it's 5
2.
of 5, I think.
Oh, it is
I think
5
it's
of 5.
5 of
Okay.
5. Yeah.
Yeah,
Crazy.
I see 6. I see 6 of basically their first 10 are restricted free agents. So I think offensive line will be a major priority for this team. And I think Spencer Fanu, who's rated as the best lineman currently, my favorite out of Utah, fits a huge need for them to protect Shedeur or Deshaun Watson or whoever ends up being their quarterback next year. Maybe Dylan Gabriel gets another crack, but regardless, you got to keep that quarterback upright. Why not get a building block that can play left tackle and Spencer Fanu out of Utah?
Yeah, it's an awesome pick, man. And look, as a Quinshon Judkins dynasty holder, I love this pick because that offensive line was so bad last year. And, I know Shedeur was a Pro Bowler, but 7 touchdowns, 10 INTs. He was under duress a lot, and he has a problem with holding on the ball and getting sacked. So, and you can't really trust Deshaun Watson. That whole offense, the defense is elite. Has to
but
be
not too big
draft.
of a problem. Not a big enough problem to get. I mean, he still got into the Pro Bowl, so let's not act like it's a huge problem.
Yeah, I mean, look, this has to be tackle. I could see the Browns moving up too. If the Giants have a big hole at right tackle coming into this draft, and Arizona at 3, in this scenario, we have them moving back, but they're a prime team that could take a tackle as well. I could see them moving up with Tennessee and jumping the Giants to get a tackle because it's just that dire of a need for them.
Oh, for sure. So I'm gonna hop in here. We got my first trade of the mock draft.
Okay.
I have the Kansas City Chiefs moving up 2 spots to hop the Saints and get their guy. And I'll tell you who their guy is in 1 second. But first, let's get over the capital that will be given up to make this trade happen between the Commanders and the Chiefs. There's the Chiefs logo. So the Commanders give the Chiefs 7, and in return, they will receive pick 9 and pick 74. So they basically move back 2 spots to get a 3rd rounder and probably still end up getting their guy. I know the trade sim's not in love with that, but to me, that's a no-brainer. You move back 2 spots. There's still a lot of guys in that same tier. I don't think there's any clear-cut guys here where it's like, all right, we're dropping out of the tier 1. Like, I think you can make a case for 4 or 5 different guys that the Commanders can take here at 7. That'll still be there at 9, so they're fine with picking up a 3rd rounder from the Chiefs to do that. I love that capital.
Yep.
Trade was rejected.
Whoa! All right, add a pick.
Somehow I feel like that trade goes through on draft day, but that's fine. I'll add a 7th rounder just to make sure this happens. Or I'll add, you know what? I'll add San Francisco's 6th next year. But don't worry. In this scenario, likely to accept. Yeah, okay. I don't know why, but
you got to think about who is for. No, you got to give more to the Chiefs. You got to give the Chiefs a pick. That's
Okay.
the
All right.
problem. You got to give the Chiefs a pick. Something that gets it green. Give them something in the current draft, dude.
Dude, what?
Give them something that gets in there. Oh, it's right there. All right. All right.
That's insane. All right. Well,
Yeah, there
whatever. The
you go.
capital doesn't matter. I feel like
All
that's
right.
way too much capital for Washington to give up. I genuinely think that gets it done. But regardless, just for the mock's sake,
Yeah.
uh, just to make it work through. But I think a third is more than enough to get it done. So the Chiefs hopped the Saints because they want Jeremiah Love and they don't want to risk him not falling to them at 9. They need to address the running game, and they need to address it bad. This was one of the worst, if not the worst, running football teams in the league. They couldn't run the ball to save their life. And Patrick Mahomes, their star quarterback, is coming off of a major injury. And what better way to take the weight off his shoulder and not put this strenuous workload on him where he has to be Superman than getting them the best running back in this class that they fell in love with? Wink, wink. Jeremiah Love, you are a Kansas City Chief.
Love it. I love it,
Thank
man.
you.
It's a good pick. It's a good move
Thank
up
you.
as well. Jump the Saints, get your guy, get the star player. And hey, I'd like to point something out here too. I know there's talk of the Saints taking Love at 8. I think that'd be a stupid decision from New Orleans, to be honest with you. I think they should get a receiver, if anything, to help Tyler Shuck than a running back. There's an argument to be made that you wait on running back and you don't get a premier guy until the rest of your roster is set up and you drop that back in. So for that 5-year prime rookie deal window, you're using those carries when it matters towards chasing a championship. Exhibit A, my New York Giants take Barkley at number 2. They were not ready for that. And he had some great seasons, absolutely. They never won shit because they didn't have a team around him. Then it was like, we can't pay him that money because we don't have a team around him that supports it. Then he signs with the Eagles when he was the finishing piece to that offense and that team. And you dropped him in, boom, what did they do? Win a Super Bowl, right? Like, I believe in that argument where it's like, if you're going to take a running back this high in the draft, Kansas City's the perfect example. They could win the Super Bowl any freaking year with Patrick Mahomes. Drop that stud young back in there where all of their prime carries, 1,500 to 2,000 carries, are going to come in a championship window. And you're using his tread on his tires appropriately and not burning him out while you're trying to build a team around him. So I think that makes a ton of sense.
I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. That's why I did it. And that's why I'm saying it.
All right, pick 8. You're up, back on the clock, man.
I am up again. We did say I was going to be getting my get back, and I'm going to go with, debatable, the best edge rusher in the class in Ruben Bane Jr. Listen, Cam Jordan is a free agent right now, and I think you let him walk. I understand he is a staple of New Orleans, but I think you can use your capital, or I'm sorry, you can use your salary, all that money you have for free agency to go elsewhere. Go younger here. Go get the stud. Really try to build up that defensive line. Even if you bring Cam Jordan back, how many more good years does he have left? I understand he had 10.5 sacks last year, but I think you can go other routes instead of paying him. I think another team will overpay him, which is understandable. Listen, he's a guy who's had a lot of success, and he brings the leadership aspect. But I think taking Bane at 8 makes a whole lot of sense for them. None of the receivers are really loved here for them. I understand what you were saying. You could go wide receiver. I'd rather go fill the edge, which is a major need for them to have a consistent pass rush.
Yeah, I think it's a great pick. You could support Tyler Shuck. You could go receiver if you're that convinced with Mekhi Lemon or Jordan Tyson, but you can't go wrong with going with a junkyard bulldog and Ruben Bane. That's going to set the tone for that defensive front. He's going to be a monster in the run game, and the Saints still have a lot of holes in the defensive side of the ball. They need some more young talent on that side, so it's a good pick, man. You can't go wrong with going Ruben Bane at number 8 in this draft.
No, you cannot.
All right, number 9. I know you made a trade from 9 to 7 using my odds. Do I get this odd here? Do I get Washington?
Yeah, you get to pick it. Yeah.
All right. Hey, you mentioned it earlier, man. At pick 7, there was a handful of guys that Washington could take, and I'd be happy with. Like, you could go Mekhi Lemon. You could go Jordan Tyson. You could go Peter Woods, maybe. But I'm going to go with Sonny Styles, the linebacker out of Ohio State. Number 17 ranked on this platform is a little disrespectful, in my opinion. The guy's a stud. 6'4", sideline to sideline, former safety, can guard tight ends, even receivers. And the way that he fills gap and flows to the ball, and follows the hip of the running back in the run game is really impressive. I mean, shit, man, you look at his defense and having Sonny Styles and Arvel Reese, I can't believe Ohio State didn't get to the title game. You know, it's just crazy to me how talented they were on both sides of the ball. I mean, we just had Carnell Tate go number 5 and Caleb Downs number 4, right? And Reese number 2 and Sonny Styles 9. That's 4 Ohio State players in the top 9, 3 being on the defensive side of the ball. Nuts to me. But Sonny Styles, look, Bobby Wagner can't play forever, but you saw
he's a free agent too.
And he's a free agent. They might bring him back. I actually would like bringing him back and taking Sonny Styles, and you can have Sonny Styles learn from a legend like that for a year. But, I mean, we saw the impact that Wagner had in that defense in 2024, and I just think they need a stud in the middle. Like, edge rusher could make sense as well, but, you know, with the top 3 off the board, I'm not going to reach on a Kendrick Faulk right now. I'm going to go with Sonny Styles. I think he's a very clean prospect, and he could be a potential all-pro caliber linebacker in the center of that Dan Quinn defense.
Yeah, I'm all for it. I mean, we see how important having a good middle linebacker is to his defense. So Sonny Styles makes a whole lot of sense there. I like your style, kid.
Yeah, I'll shout Walmart out too with that one because he's head over heels for Sonny Styles. He wants him at 7 for the Commanders. So how about this, Walmart? Your Commanders drop back 2 spots, pick up a 3rd rounder, and still get Sonny Styles.
Yeah, you like it? You rocking with that style? All right.
Bro,
cool.
Very punny tonight.
I'm so punny. If you had, I hope this doesn't deter anyone from listening, but I got all the puns. I got all of them. All right, Cardinals. So you move back to 10 here. You talked about it earlier. A good spot they could go is offensive line, and that's what I have them doing here. I have them taking Francis Mauyoga.
Yeah.
Listen, you know, Jonah Williams, their right tackle, is going to be a free agent, and I think he'll slide right in, take over that right tackle role. You know, pair him with Paris Johnson, or maybe you could kick him to one of the guards. I believe he does have guard flexibility.
Yeah.
But regardless, I have him slated to be their right tackle of the future. So you trade back, you pick up some much-needed capital if you're the Cardinals, and you get that, you know, whoever's the quarterback, because I think at this point it's pretty safe to say they're probably moving on from Kyler Murray. I mean, they haven't said it either way, and even if they don't move on from Kyler Murray, but regardless, you have to build up that offensive line. We saw last year, like, Brissett was throwing the ball around the yard, but a lot of the reason was it was in garbage time, and they couldn't establish the run. So you need to have some of these maulers in the run game, and you also need to be able to protect your quarterback when the game matters. Like, you shouldn't be down 21-0 because, you know, the Seattle Seahawks just got 2 strip sacks against you, and you're down 21-0 in the first quarter. And then it's like, oh, well, now we can throw the ball. Now we can block because they're taking their foot off the gas pedal.
Yeah, dude, absolutely. For Arizona, I think the Kyler Murray days are done, even with a new head coach in there. Keep an eye out on Malik Willis to Arizona. I think he's going to Arizona or Miami, who's on the clock now.
Maybe, hopefully.
Or New York, perhaps New York, but I doubt it. I think Malik Willis is going to be like, why would I sign with the Jets? I see what happens to every quarterback that goes there. If I'm going to rejuvenate my career, let me go with Jeff Hafley in Miami or to Arizona where you have some dudes in McBride, Marv, and Michael Wilson.
Fair.
And hey, in this scenario, look, Arizona, what a fucking win here, dude. Mm-hmm. Like, you drop back from number 3 where you could go tackle, and you still get Francis Mauyoga at 10, who's, I know Todd McShay has him as the number 6th overall player, which is pretty crazy. You're getting him at 10, filling a huge need, and you're also picking up another 2nd rounder and a 5th in the process. That's just a monster win for them, man.
Oh, it 100% is.
All right, Miami here at 11. Look, dude, it's going to sound really chalky. We're going to go corner here. Jermon McCoy out of Tennessee.
Oh, my chalk.
I went Monsour Delane in the last mock. I'm going to go Jermon McCoy in this one. I mean, pick your poison. I don't know which one's going to go first. I think they both go in the top 15. If you want to go off who is at their best, like who's shown the best on tape, it's McCoy, but it's the injury concerns, and Delane is no slouch in the tape department either in 2025. He was really clean, really awesome in the SEC, but I'm going to go McCoy. He was really awesome in the SEC in 2024, probably the best corner in the country. And, I mean, there's just no doubt Miami is in desperate need for help on that secondary. They got some pieces up front on that defense. And, I mean, there's just not a quarterback worth taking here. I don't know what they're going to do. They have a ton of holes. It's going to be rebuild, but getting a shutdown corner in there for Miami seems like a good idea.
Yeah, I mean, listen, it does make sense in the sense that Hafley is going to be probably looking to build up his defense first as a defensive-minded coach. Miami obviously has a lot of different holes. You can go bunch of different ways. But at that point, they get their pick of the litter at cornerback with, as you can see, all been linebackers or edge players. So they get their, and obviously downs. So they get their pick of the litter in terms of the cornerback position.
Oh, yeah.
But let's move on to the Titans. I'm picking for the Titans. And a big need for the Titans is wide receiver. Are we going Tyson? Or are we going Lemon? I'm going to go Lemon in this case.
Love it.
This team obviously has Chamir DK, who showed a lot of flashes, especially as a return specialist. They picked up Iiona out of Stanford. And both guys showed some flashes, but I don't believe either of them has the potential to become a true number one. And Calvin Ridley, I think his days are numbered. And I also don't think, that should deter you from taking a wide receiver at this point. So I think they need a true number one. And I think, that's how you build up around Cam Ward and really try to develop him. I think Brian Dable will have him playing kind of a Malik Neighbors type role for the team. And I think, we'll see Cam Ward ultra target him, kind of like we saw Jackson Dart ultra target, Malik Neighbors, and similar with what we saw with Josh Allen and Stephon Diggs. So I think Lemon will play a lot in the slot for them as well.
Yeah, dude. I mean, fuck. For Tennessee, that just feels such a big need. It's the same thing I said with the Giants, man. Getting that second-year quarterback some help. We know Cam Ward, he showed a lot, man. I think the vibe around Cam Ward right now is a little inaccurate. He made some crazy throws, and he's super, super talented, dude. Like, he just didn't have much help. It was a questionable offensive line. The run game was pretty dead all year until Tony Pollard turned it on at the way end of the season when, the nail was already in the coffin for the Titans. And look, they could absolutely need help. Like, they could get help on the defensive side of the ball for sure, but man, getting Makai Lemon at pick 12 to pair with Cam Ward just feels like a huge win. And in this scenario, they still have picked number 20 to maybe address the defense and the edge rushers.
Yeah, I mean, and listen, he ended out the season, with 10 touchdowns to 1 interception. He ended out the season. I mean, he really started taking care of the ball. They won 2 games down the stretch, turned it on the second half, and I actually think he, as far as I know, they didn't ask him to be in the Pro Bowl, but I think them going Shedeur over Cam Ward is crazy because he had a way better year. I mean, he ended the season with a 15-7 touchdown interception ratio. I understand the QBR wasn't great, the passing yards weren't great, but he really started to take care of the football in the second half, where early in the year you saw some major mistakes. So I think getting him a true number one right away is going to be huge for both guys' development.
Yeah, it's a great pick. All right, 13 for the Rams here. Monsour Delane, corner out of LSU. Let's send him to LA. Look, yeah. Rams fans, I know you guys were absolutely thrilled with the mock 5.0 and how it shook out, where Makai Lemon was the pick at 13 and you added Hood later in the first round. In this scenario, unfortunately, Lemon just got picked right in your face. So let's take the corner now to fill a huge need for that Rams defense. I mean, look, they kind of got toasted a little bit in the secondary towards the end of the season. In that division, you got some stud wide receivers and tight ends. So let's send Monsour Delane it's been a need for them for a while. They have a great young pass rush. Let's get them some help on the back end, man, because that offense is going to be humming. They should be top 5, certainly top 10 next year. Let's beef up that defense a little bit more. Monsour Delane, smart pick for the Rams at 13.
Yeah, no, I'm cool with that. And I think it does fill a major need for them. And hey, the Rams will have another pick later on. They definitely will.
They do.
But let's move on to the Ravens here. I have them taking Peter Woods out of Clemson. We're going to throw him on that defensive line. I mean, this guy is the best interior defensive lineman in the class out of Clemson. I understand, he had somewhat of a down year, but I'm buying in on the talent and, the system. And I understand it's a new regime coming in, but I think Minter's going to want to try to build up that defense first. I mean, if you have a healthy Lamar Jackson, doesn't really matter who you put around him. Like, you can expect him to be good. And I understand, you could go guard here, with Vega out of Penn State, but I wanted to go to the defensive side of the ball. And Badamike coming off of a major neck injury. I know there's, talks of him potentially. Is he officially done? I didn't think he was officially done.
Trust me, dude. There's like Reddit posts out there that shit has been like confirmed. Like, nah, he's been retired.
Okay, it's not official, but it's coming. You're saying
he's retired. He won't play again.
Okay, so I mean, listen, that's a major need for them as well. And I'm not like fully sold on some of the other guys. Like, I know Travis Jones had a pretty good year, but I think you can still build up that defensive front. So Peter Woods there makes a ton of sense to me.
Think about Lee Hunter, man. Don't be shocked if Lee Hunter goes that high, dude. I'm telling you, Lee Hunter's a dog as well in the
No, I
interior.
know. I had him going in last mock in the first round because we didn't have him in the first 4 mocks, but I snuck him in last time, and it sounds like he's been shooting up a lot of mock drafts.
Yeah.
But I'm gonna hop in again here. I got to trade. Yep,
Whoa!
I got to trade. I
Traded
got
my
to
Bucks
trade.
pick, huh?
I do got to trade. I'm sorry, dude, but I got to trade. This one will be between the Bucks and the Bills. The
The
Bills are
Buffalo
trading up,
Bills.
hopping in front of the New York Jets to select who. Well, you must wait until I say. But let's go over the capital first between the two teams. So Tampa Bay will be getting 26 from the Bills, as well as a second this year, a second next year, and then they will get a sixth in 2027, while the Bills receive who's going to reject it? Oh, maybe it's too much capital.
Oh, okay.
Close.
Oh, wow.
All right. Well, to make it work, we'll put in
It's
really.
close.
All right. What? It's annoying. What? All right. To make it work, I still think what I was saying would make it work, but to make it work, I still think 2 seconds from Buffalo gets it done. But like I said, this trade calculator thing's a little weird. They don't know. They don't know. But regardless, you know, I have it being Buffalo gets the one pick 15 for, and then the Bucks get pick 26, pick 60, and then a second next year. So I think 2 seconds get it done to move back 11 spots. All right. But who do I got the Bills taking? That's the really important part. I have them hopping the Jets to get their true number one, something Josh Allen has been lacking since Stephon
Wow.
Diggs left. Something you
Wow.
wanted Keon Coleman to be, something Keon Coleman could not be. They go and get Jordan Tyson. They pair him with Khalil Shakir. Hopefully Dalton Kincaid could stay healthy. And it's like, wow, Josh Allen's got a decent core around him. I mean, if Tyson can stay healthy, and I know that's the biggest issue with him, and that's why he's been kind of sliding down some mock drafts, because if he didn't have injury concerns, he would be the first wide receiver taken. But he does have injury concerns, but Buffalo does not care. They're going out there and addressing something major right out of the gates, getting Jordan Tyson and Joe Brady. No, not Joe Brady.
Yeah, Joe Brady.
Or Joe Brady. I almost thought I was thinking, I don't know who I was thinking I was saying. But yeah, Joe Brady's going out and getting Josh Allen a weapon out of the gates. The new regime in Buffalo is starting out with a bang.
Holy shit, man. That'd be
Yeah.
such a fun fit. And hey, if I'm just thinking about our Superflex rookie dynasty drafts, right?
Yeah.
If Jordan Tyson ends up in Buffalo, shit, is he in play as the first receiver taken in our rookie drafts? I think so. Pair it with Josh Allen.
100%.
Certainly a
Bro.
conversation. And Reagan, you being a Jets fan, you had the division rival move up and jump
I
your
know.
Jets. I had a division rival move up and jump my Giants. So we
Yeah, can't
that's
call us
almost
biased.
treason.
Cannot call us
Yeah,
biased.
you can't call us biased, man. Unbiased fans. That's one of our slogans. And
Yeah.
we might get charged for treason over here in New York.
And hey, for Tampa Bay, I mean, it works out well. You pick up some capital. There's nobody you need that like is blowing you away at that point. So you pick up some capital, pick up the extra second rounder. Really good to build around Baker in that core. But I'm up again with the Jets since I hopped you. And listen, John Simpson and Vera Tucker are both free agents. So guard is going to be a big, big need for us. I'm not sure if we bring back both. I mean, hey, maybe we do, but regardless, both are unrestricted free agents. So I'm going with Vega Iiona from Penn State. I mean,
Yeah,
this guy,
fucking awesome pick.
what he can do is going to be, I think he's going to be great out of the gates. I think a big reason why he's falling is just the positional value and the fact that he's a guard. If he was a tackle, he would have been taken a hell of a lot earlier. But, we always see guards and centers start to slide down the board based off of the other positional values and teams making some trades. So, hey, the Bills did hop you, but you build up your offensive line a little bit more. You pair him up with, Fashanu and Membu, who you spent first-round picks on. Why not spend another first-round pick and really build up that offensive line? And, hey, maybe if they'll figure out the quarterback position because, hey, we can protect our quarterback, and that makes it easy for whoever is starting in 2026.
Hey, that's an awesome pick, man. People are gonna hate going guard, but there's an
I
argument
wouldn't.
to be made. Vega is the number one offensive lineman in the class, and a lot of what I'm seeing is that he's a can't miss guy. Like, take him and just know that your left guard spot is handled for a decade and be happy with it. And you pair him back up with Fashano, the Penn State boys. That's
Mm-hmm.
awesome. And to tell you what, the one thing the Jets have done well recently is drafting offensive linemen. I know they used high capital on them, but shit, like there's no guarantee they're going to pan out. We've seen a ton of tackles get picked high that have whiffed, and Membu was awesome at right tackle for them as a rookie. Fashano's done good things as well. So just keep shoring up that offensive line, and they can just drop that quarterback in there in 2027. You know he's going to have good protection.
Mm-hmm.
All right, Detroit here for number 17. I'm going to go Kendrick Faulk, edge rusher out of Auburn, to pair with Aiden Hutchinson. They've been looking for a running mate for Hutchinson for quite a while now. Faulk has inside-outside flexibility. He's an absolute monster of a player. Sure, it's going to be that classic conversation of the sack production was not there in college, but teams draft based on tools, particularly at the edge rusher position. So I think Detroit, just trying to beef up that pass rush in the gauntlet that is the NFC North, would be a wise move. Aiden Hutchinson can't do it all himself.
Yeah, I like that a lot. I mean, he's a guy that we haven't had falling this far, but for him to fall to the Lions at 17, even if he is a little bit of a project, the athletic tools are there. So I think the Lions are licking their chops to get Kendrick Faulk, and like you said, to pair him with Hutchinson. Wow, could that be a special edge rushing duo? Really could.
That'd be fun.
So we get to the Minnesota, and they need secondary help. So I am going with Mr. Hood. Where are you, Mr. Hood? Mr. Colton Hood out of Tennessee. The Vikings will be selecting him. Listen, he obviously fits a big need for them. Brian Flores is staying, which is great because we saw, what this Minnesota secondary was able to do down the stretch. What I say secondary, I meant Minnesota defense. Obviously they got studs at the edge rushers. They got studs up front, able to get some big pressure. Harrison Smith, I know, is a free agent. I think they'll bring him back. I would imagine they'll bring him back. Have you heard, either way with him or nothing yet? Because obviously free agency is coming up very soon.
I haven't seen anything yet. I do see a lot of people mocking safety to Minnesota as a Harrison Smith replacement, but I got to think if he wants to keep playing, he'll do one more year in Minnesota. It just feels right. And he won't be expensive.
No, he won't be expensive. And there's no safety I love there. But listen, he's one of the more press man type of corners, which, Brian Flores is going to love. And you kind of need some guys that can run man, because if you're going to blitz as much as Brian Flores does, a guy like Colton Hood that specializes in press and man is what you need. You need guys that can take on one-on-ones, because you're not going to run zone in a Brian Flores defense. You are going to be blitzing, and blitzing.
Yep, that's true, man. All right, number 19 here, the Carolina Panthers. I'm going to go with a guy that we've mocked here in the past, and that is Kenyan Sadique, the tight end out of Oregon. And when we made this pick in the past, some Panthers fans were in our comments saying, we don't need tight end. I'm like, well, number one, how is Jatavion Sanders, Tommy Tremble, and Mitchell Evans stopping you from taking a prospect like Kenyan Sadique? I don't understand that. Number two, Jatavion Sanders is a monster of a tight end. I believe he's 6'5". Kenyan Sadique stands at 6'3", and he's more of a guy that can work out of the slot and more of a receiving tight end. But he's awesome as a blocker too. People sleep on him in that regard. He did some really good things in the run game for the Ducks. So let's give Bryce Young another weapon. Why not? Mm-hmm. We saw him take big steps forward last year with Tate McMillan. Let's add Kenyan Sadique. That's a different type of skill set that can work over the middle of the field. He's great with the ball in his hands. He's stupid athletic. He should jump through the roof at the combine. I believe he's working out. So Kenyan Sadique to the Panthers, that's an awesome pick. That makes a lot of sense for them. And it really helps elevate Bryce Young's game. And you could play him and Jatavion Sanders. But you took Sanders in the 4th round. That shouldn't stop you from taking a prospect like Sadique, who isn't Loveland and Warren. He's kind of a tier below them in terms of prospect, which is why he's going here at 19 instead of up towards the top 10. But yeah, this would be awesome for Panthers fans. I don't know why people would hate this pick if you're in Carolina.
Yeah, no, I think it's a good pick as well, just from, being a Homer Panthers fan and, following them very closely. Tommy Tremble showed some flashes and, Sanders showed some flashes, but I think they need a consistent guy. And I also think that'll take a hell of a lot of pressure off of Tate and Coker. So you're going to build a nice nucleus around Bryce Young where he's got a lot of options to go to. And then, listen, if you can't get it done, there's no more excuses for Bryce if you're giving him all the weapons necessary to win some games and, go on a deep playoff run next year. Because you would think, Panthers fans, the next step is you made the playoffs. Like, let's go out and win a playoff game now. Maybe let's win a second playoff game.
Yep.
So, but let's move on to the Titans, who obviously get the 20th pick and making the trade with Dallas. And in this spot, listen, I am going edge rusher here 100%. Jeffrey Simmons had the 11 sacks last year on the interior, but outside of that, he didn't have a whole lot of help. And I think teams will continue to cue in on that, the fact that, you can't protect him. So I'm going to go with Meador out of Miami here. I think he'll fill in, become their number one edge rusher right out of the gates. And I think the fact that they have Simmons will open up stuff for him, and they'll work off of each other well. And, Robert Saleh gets his defensive toy, and Brian Dable gets his offensive toy, and it works out well for Tennessee, where you fill two major needs for a team that is rebuilding. So, yeah.
It's an awesome pick. And the knock on Meador is he's 25 years old, right? I believe he was college teammates with Myles Garrett. I saw that, which is
25-year-old rookie.
Pretty nuts, right? And that's the knock is, he's old, but you could absolutely argue he was better in the college football playoffs than Ruben Bane, the guy who we had go in the top 10, number 8 to New Orleans. Meador is awesome. He was really damn good for the Canes. He's got a lot of juice off the edge. And, I think if he was 22 years old, he absolutely goes higher than pick 20. And he's probably a top 12 pick. All right, 21 here.
I mean, listen, age plays a big factor.
For sure. 21 here for the Pittsburgh Steelers. Oh, this would be a fun fit, man. Denzel Boston, wide receiver from Washington to pair with DK.
No Ty Simpson. No Ty
Simpson. We got absolutely flamed in the comments.
Steelers fans do not want him.
No one in Pittsburgh wants Ty Simpson. They just got PTSD from Kenny Pickett. And hey, I absolutely get it. So let's get Denzel Boston in there. Who knows what they're going to do at quarterback? It depends on Aaron Rodgers. They're probably going to go veteran route, and I'm cool with that. Maybe Will Harrow gets a shot with a veteran bridge. But Denzel Boston, man, I'm telling you, this guy's an absolute lock to go in the first round. He's got exceptional ball skills, really, really strong hands. He wins at the high point. He's great with the ball after the catch. He's more of a strength kind of guy. He's a big physical player. He's not going to be super shifty after the catch, but he'll run through DBs. And his production was off the charts at Washington, both in 24 and 25. He's played on the outside and in the slot. And we know the Steelers need a lot of help in terms of their wide receiver room outside of DK Metcalf. They've whiffed on a couple guys. So Denzel Boston, I think he's a lock for round 1. And I think Pittsburgh, honestly, is the perfect fit.
Wow. Yeah, no, I mean, I'm curious where he'll end up in this draft. But I do like the landing spot, and I have seen Boston going in a lot of first-round picks. I see he's going up a lot. So, it was pretty clear, like, when they didn't have DK last year, it was very, very bad. And it's also pretty clear that they can use some other weapons. So, it's still weird. We don't know what the quarterback will be, but one thing that is evident, whether it's Rodgers or a rookie or they trade for some veteran, you need to build up their skilled players. It can't just be DK Metcalf on the outside.
Mm-hmm.
So, all right, let's move on to the Chargers here. We've had them going offensive line in every mock draft, but I want to switch it up, Chargers fans. Let's give you something different this time. Their defensive and especially their interior defensive line needs some work here. I think John Harbaugh knows that. They need a big mauler that can stop the run and get some pressure. Give me Kaden McDonald at Ohio State, another Ohio State defensive player here. I mean, this just shows you how good of a unit they had last year. But listen, John Harbaugh knows. And, what we've seen from him, too, is that he knows that he needs a good defensive line to get things done here. And he's a younger player. I mean, he's only 20 years old, which I think is great as well. And I also want to say, too, and I didn't think about it, but I'm thinking about it now. How about Harbaugh drafting an Ohio State player? I mean, you think he wouldn't do it? But no, I mean, this guy's a great against the run. He's more known for his run defense, but if he can continue to develop as a pass rusher, I think he could be really scary for this defense. But isn't that something, thinking about that Harbaugh drafting an Ohio State player? I didn't really factor that in.
Fun.
I wonder if that plays into it, and he's like, in no world am I ever drafting an Ohio State player.
I think he'll favor Michigan players if he could. I don't think it'll deter him from taking Kaden McDonald if he sees that he's the best player on the board and exactly what they need. And we know Harbaugh wants to attack the trenches.
Yeah, and DJ Reader's like a good comp to him that I've been seeing a lot of people say.
Yeah, he
So,
is great
and
against the
he's
run. I
yeah.
mean, I would love for the Giants to get him in the top of round 2, but it feels like these D tackles are going to fly off the board.
Yeah, I was saying it last. I think there's going to be 4 defensive tackles at least taken in the
Yeah,
first round.
it does seem like it. All right, for the Eagles here at 23. Look, I know in the last mock I had him taking Caden Proctor, and Eagles fans were not happy. They're like, we don't need offensive line. I'm like, strongly disagree. I think they absolutely need offensive line. The offensive line was not even close in the same level in 2025 that it was in 2024. Lane Johnson's been beat up, and if he does come back for one more year, every offseason it's like, is Lane going to call it quits? At some point, he is. And Caleb Lomu out of Utah makes sense for me. He could play right tackle or he could play guard, and they need help at guard too. And there's talks that Dickerson's going to hang it up. And Eagles fans are like, we don't need offensive line. We draft these development tackles. Da 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 da. I'm like, that's great. That's great. You can't rely on those late round picks to blossom and step in. And you guys, you hit on your left tackle, absolutely at the end of the draft. But it's not going to happen every time. And we know how he wants to attack the trenches. And God damn it, I was reading some Todd McShay too, and he agrees. Like, yeah, could they go wide receiver? Sure, but offensive line is a need for Philadelphia right now, and we know that's what they want to hang their hat on. So going Caleb Lomu, a guy who didn't have the best 2025, a guy who was getting top 10 buzz heading into the season, but still showed a lot. He's a really young player. He stepped in, I believe, as a freshman at Utah and was getting significant snaps. This just feels like a really smart pick for me. You could start him off at guard, and he could be your eventual Lane Johnson replacement at right tackle.
Yeah, I like that. I do think there's a very good chance Philly goes offensive line. I don't really understand why so many people are against that. Like, and also it's just kind of like the Howie Roseman thing. Like he always seems like he's one step ahead of like when players are on the outs. So I think if he truly feels that, you know, some of these elite offensive linemen are going to hit a cliff, they're not be part of the long-term plans, he'll do it. I mean, and we also know he's not afraid to take a player a year earlier. I mean, I'm blanking out on his name. Who's the linebacker they took in the first round last year? I don't know why I'm blanking on his name.
Are you talking about Nakobe Dean?
No, not that year.
From Alabama.
Yeah.
Oh.
Why am I blanking on his name?
Oh, me too, man. I'm like blanking on his name too.
Um,
They took him at the end of the first round.
yeah, not Nakobe, because Nakobe Dean was a similar situation.
Years prior.
Jahad Campbell. Wow,
Jahad Campbell, yes, Campbell, yes.
Please tell me you're still listening. We're not casuals. We're not casuals. I just was blanking. But, you know, they took him last year. Was linebacker a big need? No. Did he play a ton last year? No. But did he show a lot of flashes when he did play? Yes. And do you think he's going to be a part of their long-term future? Yes. So I wouldn't be shocked at all. So, but let's move on for the Browns here. And I already talked about it before. They have a lot of free agent linemen. So I think there's a chance that they go 2 offensive linemen. I don't think that's out of the possibility. I think they get 100% double dip. And I'm going to go with Proctor here. He has guard tackle flexibility, a younger guy at Bama, only 20 years old, but played a lot of football there. Listen, I mean, he's great. He's great with the blocking, obviously, because he's a lineman. But the big thing with him is his size. I mean, this guy is an athletic freak, 6'7", 366. But I think the Browns really need to fix their trenches. It was pretty clear last year that they couldn't block for shit. I understand he has a lot of weaknesses as well, where like people are worried about it, and that's kind of why he's falling to the spot. But the athletic traits are off the charts. So I think it makes a whole lot of sense for him there. And yeah, I mean, I don't know if they're going to put him at tackle or guard, but to pair him with Fanu, I think it's pretty cool.
That's really fun, man. And hey, similar to edge rusher, offensive tackle is a traits-based position on what teams are drafting. And Proctor, former 5-star recruit, if I'm not mistaken, he might have been the #1 player in the country coming out of high school, going to Alabama, 3-year starter. I mean, trust me, I get the concerns with him. I get the concerns on his movement, his agility, his ability to stop speed rushers, and the concerns in pass pro. But he is a mauler in the run game, and if you're going to use him at guard, you can protect him a little bit, or he could be a right tackle for you. But yeah, Cleveland just can't go wrong with double dipping on the offensive line. All right, Bears here, number 25 for me. How about this little change up for you? Emmanuel McNeil Warren, safety out of Toledo. A guy, maybe you haven't heard of him, right? You should. You should hear about him.
Yeah.
Todd McShay freaking loves him. Daniel Jeremiah freaking loves him. Player number 15 for Jeremiah. He keeps climbing the ranks every time I check out where he's ranked for these different draft pundits. He's similar to that Emin Wari mold, right? Where we saw how good he was for Seattle this year, that big, long safety, very traitsy like that, right? I know he's at Toledo, but his production was freaking unbelievable. He lays the absolute wood, which you'd expect for someone his size. He's very rangy. He's got speed. He's fluid. He's great against the run. Like this is just a great fit for me in Chicago,
Yeah,
who has some free
6'3",
agent.
209.
Yeah, dude. I mean, that's a big safety, and you could play him kind of in the slot as well. The Bears have, I think they have a couple free agents on the back end. If I'm not mistaken, Jaquan Brisker is a free agent, so and they need help on that defense. They unloaded assets on the offense last year. So let's help out the defense here. I think Emmanuel McNeil-Warren has the potential to be a Pro Bowl player in the back end of that Bears defense.
Yes, Brisker is a free agent. Nashawn Wright is also a free agent. C.J. Gardner-Johnson, free agent.
Oh, yeah,
Jonathan
Gardner
Owens,
Johnson, too. Yeah,
free agent.
two safeties,
So,
free agents.
And Jonathan Owens, third safety. So they have three safeties that are free agents.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I'm cool with that. I mean, listen, that size alone is scary to have in that back end.
Yeah,
but
absolutely, man.
All right, let's move on to the Bucs. I'm picking for the Bucs. Obviously, they trade back, pick up some capital, and I think they get C.J. Allen out of Georgia. Levante David is a free agent. I think he'll be a Buck for life, so there's a chance they bring him back, but his days are numbered. I think even if they do bring him back, that's fine. Like, pair them together, let him learn for a year behind Levante David. Clearly, that's been a big part of, the Buccaneers franchise and these Todd Bowles defenses, whether it was with Tampa or with the Jets. He's had some elite linebacker play, so I think C.J. Allen's a great pick for them. They get a huge value on him, and they pick up some more capital to address some of their maybe more pressing needs. But I definitely think even if, David comes back on a one-year deal, like this is more of a long-term play anyway.
Dude, I wouldn't hate them going C.J. Allen at 15. And in this scenario, they traded back to 26.
Yeah.
And they still got C.J. Allen. I mean, that's just a great move. Picking up a second round pick and plus more to move back and still get your eventual Levante David replacement. I mean, what a hell of a draft this would be for Tampa Bay.
That it would.
All right, 27 for the Niners here. Give me Lee Hunter out of Texas Tech, the defensive tackle. This guy, he might be the best run-stopping defensive tackle in the class. He was an absolute unit for Texas Tech. And you wonder why they were so good and got to the college football playoffs. It's like David Bailey, Lee Hunter, that defensive front was unbelievable. And there's still a lot of room to grow for him in terms of the pass rushing department. He showed some flashes, showed some upside. The reason he's going round one here is because he was so dominant against the run. And I mean, he was awesome in that college football playoff game against Oregon. Really just ate that offensive line's lunch, to be completely frank. And you got to think for the Niners, we know they need help on that defense and that defensive line. Who's in their division? You got the Rams, who are playing a more old school style type of offense now, going back under center and just running the rock down team's throat. And also Seattle with Walker and Charbonnet. Their bread and butter was the run game and play action off that and being under center. You need to be able to stop the run in the NFC West. Lee Hunter to add to the interior of that Niners defense. That'd be awesome, and that would open up a ton for Fred Warner behind him.
Yeah. No, I mean, it was also pretty clear, like, once Fred Warner and Bosa go down, like, they're lacking a lot of star players on that defense. And that's understandably so, because you're paying those two guys a lot of money to protect all those weaknesses. But then when they go down, it's a lot easier to see it. And Robert Saleh was obviously able to still do a pretty good job. And the team won a lot of games, and they hung around with a lot of good offenses, even with missing those guys. But I think that does fill in big need on the interior. And like you said, it opens up stuff for Fred Warner, and he can probably help, Bosa on the edge and, take some pressure off him as well. So, yeah, I love that pick for them.
Oh, yeah.
But let's move on to the Texans. I mean, this team needs offensive line really bad. So I'm going to go with Monroe Freeling out of Georgia. Listen, I mean, you can say whatever you want, but at this point, the way the draft board shook out, he's my favorite offensive lineman on the board. I will say as well, Trent Brown's a free agent. Not that really makes much of a difference. Like, I don't think there's any offensive lineman on the Texans currently that you're like, oh yeah, like they're a shoe-in for starter. Like we're passing on this guy because we're covered here. Like that unit needs help bad. And I understand Freeland only really has 1 year of college football tape with Georgia, only playing 16 career games, but there's a lot good to take from there. I think he'll test well at the combine. Another big guy too, 6'7", 6'7".
6'7".
But yeah, so I got the Texans going Freeling there. At the very least, even if I'm wrong on that, like they're going offensive line at 28.
Dude, I'm not gonna lie. 28 is a steal for Monroe Freeling. Just with his upside, it's unbelievable. He has some reps on tape that are like god awful, and that's why he's going 28. But then he has some that are just purely dominant, and he has all the tools to be an elite level tackle in the league. I would not be shocked if he goes top 20. I could see him going to Detroit at 17. Absolutely. Like keep an eye out on Monroe Freeling. I think he's gonna start climbing draft boards. Would not be shocked at all if he's a top 20 pick when it's all said and done.
All right, I'm hopping in front of you, bud. Another
Oh,
trade between the Rams and the Jets. Yes.
Oh, so you take my pick and use it for your Jets to get back
I
in.
do. I do. Listen, the Jets want to get back in. They didn't get a wide receiver earlier with the Bills hopping them, and at 2, they opted to not do that. So I have the Rams trading the Jets pick 29, while the Jets give them pick 33 and pick 103. Oh, of course. Oh, I got to add in. We'll make the Rams throw in. We'll make the Rams throw in. Okay, dude, I don't know how accurate this is, but regardless, in my opinion, the Jets get throwing in a third to move up 4 spots, pick up that 5th-year option. Guarantee they get a wide receiver to pair with Garrett Wilson, and whoever that quarterback is next year is happening here. And we're going to go with Omar Cooper
dude,
out
this
of
pod
Indiana.
has to be the Omar Cooper fan club.
Listen,
dude. We get him in the first round every mock now.
Yeah, listen, I mean, I like what he was able to do down the stretch with Indiana. I mean, this guy's got winning pedigree, and what better way to change the culture but bringing in some winners, guys that have got it done at the highest stage in college football. So I think you pair him with Garrett Wilson, you take off a ton of pressure at whoever is quarterback next year. The Jets have a hell of a draft. You protect your quarterback and you give him a weapon, and you build up the defense. So home run so far through 3 picks for the Jets.
Oh man, the way you did your Jets tonight. This is a dream scenario for you. Arvel, Reese, Vega, Iiona to pair with Fashanu. Man, and you go back in and get Omar Cooper.
I ain't gonna complain about that.
That's really fun. All right, you just fucked me, so I'm gonna fuck you back. I'm taking your pick. I'm moving up. A team's gonna trade back into round 1, and that team who's got extra capital in this scenario because they moved back from 3 earlier is the Arizona Cardinals.
Wow.
Have them move back into the first round.
Okay.
So, earlier, we had them pick up an extra second rounder. So they're okay trading a second rounder to get back in. So pick 30 for pick 34 and 65. And that's a heavy reject, huh? That's a heavy reject.
Trade rejected. Okay.
Who's it rejecting for? Do we need to give? Does Denver need to give some more? Does Arizona? Is that too much for them to go get there?
Let's see. So it's 34 for 30, and who are they going to give up? You said 60 or no? Wait, 34 and 65.
Oh yeah, 65.
Oh, it was the other side. Okay,
on the Denver side. Yeah. Let's do that. Because they still have pick 41. They still have another second rounder from moving back earlier. Ty Simpson, quarterback out of Alabama, going to Arizona. How about that? And look, in this scenario, I'm assuming Malik Willis is going to go to Miami to pair with Jeff Hafley. I think Hafley coming from Green Bay is really going to want Malik Willis. So for Arizona, they're going to part ways with Kyler Murray. Let's bring back Jacoby Brissett for a year. And let's take Ty Simpson and get that 5th-year option on the quarterback, the second quarterback off the board. A guy that sat at Alabama for a while, finally got his time to shine last season. And those first 9 or 10 games, you could argue he was the best quarterback in college football.
Yeah, Heisman.
They went through a gauntlet of a schedule, and he played fantastic ball. And then towards the end of the season, he got a little rattled. Was he playing through injuries? Did teams start to figure him out a bit? Who knows, right? The tools are there. The experience is not. I wish he went back for another year. I know we've said that many times. I'm not going to beat the dead horse there. But Ty Simpson going to Arizona, potentially sitting for a year. Maybe, I know there's a plan with Jackson Dart, and he got in about mid-year. Not even. After 4 games. So hopefully in this scenario, you can have Brissett, who showed that, he can put up points, regardless if he's in garbage time or not. Hopefully the defense is better here. But Francis Mauyoga and quarterback of the future, hopefully for Arizona, and Ty Simpson, and you still have a second-round pick with the way we manipulated this board. I think as an Arizona Cardinals fan, you got to be excited. Similar to Giants
if you
last
are
year, going Abdul Carter and then getting Jackson Dart when the Giants move back into the first round. It's like, all right, we got a quarterback. Let's see if he can do it. It's a similar type of thing here. I think this would be a fun fit for Arizona and Ty Simpson.
Yeah, if you are a Cardinals fan, like, what do you think of this draft, Tom? How are you feeling, Arizona? You want Ty Simpson? Have you even thought Ty Simpson? They probably haven't thought a lot of Ty Simpson, but I mean, maybe in the second round. But
is there a fan base that even wants Ty Simpson? Or every time we mock Ty Simpson, we're going to get shit in the comments?
Hey, I don't want him on the Jets, that's for sure. But that's probably because he would never be good anyway. Yeah, I mean, hey, I love it, honestly. It's another good wrinkle. But yeah, that's 6 good trades. It's 6 good trades. But you're back up with the Pats. Who do you got?
Man. Yeah, we got 6 trades done. All right, here I'm going to go TJ Parker, edge rusher out of Clemson. I know mock 5.0, I went into the whole spiel about him, and I snuck him into the first round. So I'm getting him back in the first round, and that's, the tools are absolutely there. A guy that was getting top 10 buzz after the 2024 season. The whole Clemson defense just kind of shit the bed last year. I don't know what's going on under Dabo Swinney's control there, but it wasn't ideal for Clemson. But I think after his performance the Senior Bowl, we see guys who really show up there rise up draft boards when scouts get the chance to see him in person. And, he was one of the biggest winners from the Senior Bowl. So I do think TJ Parker ends up as a first-round pick. And there's no doubt New England can use some more help along that defensive line to try to get back to the Super Bowl. And Parker's just a really toolsy guy that it just feels like a bargain at this rate. Usually we see teams like the Eagles take, like last year, Jahad Campbell. He was getting talks of being in the top 15, and he fell down to 31, but, or 32, and had all the traits. Just feels like a similar type of pick for me. A guy who could have, if he had the production in 2025 he had in 2024, he's long gone here. So I just think it's a high upside pick for New England. You could take that shot at pick 31.
Yeah, and it does seem very common in a lot of these drafts. Like the teams picking at the end either have the luxury to trade back or, get quite the steal. So it does seem time and time again that these teams, the rich, just get richer. And I do like how you highlight it. Like he's a big benefactor of the Senior Bowl. And if he tests well in the combine, like I could see him shooting up even more.
Yeah.
But yeah, the final pick, I'm going to go a different route for Seattle. This is one I haven't done before, and this guy kind of fell into their lap here. I'm going with KC Concepcion for the Seattle.
The speedster.
Listen, they got to pay JSN, so that's going to be a major factor for them. And they got to pay Kenneth Walker. They have a lot of guys to pay, and I understand they have a lot of money, but you also got to look towards the future as well. Like, I understand they got Horton, and he's kind of their speedster as well, but he's coming off the injury. I think they're going to let Shaheed walk. I know he was impactful for them, but I think you let him walk instead of paying him. And Cooper Kupp, like, he'll probably be back one more year, but like that shouldn't affect you from drafting a wide receiver here. Like, I think he's going to be, with this pick, you get JSN's long-term running mate and you get 5 years control of him. Not going to have to pay him for a while and, really build around Sam Darnold and give him a true number 2 to pair with JSN.
Yeah, he's probably going to be the guy who runs the fastest of all these receivers in this class. I mean, he's an absolute burner. Problem with him was the drops. I think he needs to be a little bit more consistent and have more focus in that regard. But, I mean, you can't teach speed. And a guy with his level of speed at pick 32 is certainly worth a dart throw.
Yeah. No, I think it's definitely worth the dart throw. I don't think with his speed that he'll be there at 32 after the combine. But, hey, in this scenario, he was there, and Seattle's licking their chops. And, hey, maybe and in this case, then you don't have to pay Shaheed. You let him walk, and then you get a younger, cheaper version of him at 32. That's more talented.
That's fun, man. Look at that draft board, dude. 6 big trades. Really shook it up in mock 6.0. Felt fans, drop a comment, please. We love bantering with you guys, whether you loved or hated the pick that we made for your team. What do you think of these trades? Don't bash us for the comp. You saw we're going to war with the simulator, trying to get it to balance out, right? We did our best there. But what picks did you like? What picks did you not like? Hype the video, like the video, check out Mock 5.0. That puppy is cooking. And
sub,
guys, sub. Please sub. And hey, it's only February, so the mock should keep on rolling in. We look forward to doing this plenty of more times for you guys. Catch us soon here on Around the Felt. Hey, we got a surprise coming very shortly.
Big surprise.